Well, we're seeing right now the aftermath of the 2008 market crash. You're seeing it everywhere. And what that's doing to state pensions is, because we lost so much of the corpus of our investment funds, to meet our commitments to our public employees, we have to put in hundreds of millions of more dollars into these plans every year. In Utah, as we look forward through this ramp-up period that we have to pay that, it's roughly 10% of our general fund is going to pay for this 2008 market crash for 25 years. And that's a disaster for us as a state, and it's an issue that every state in this country is dealing with. So what the real challenge is a cash flow challenge for us as a state. We have to put the money away now to make sure the benefits that we have the money for the benefits later, 30 years from now. But yet at the same time, we're being crushed by other competing needs and falling tax revenues. So we had no idea going into this downturn we were bearing this much risk for a pension system where we were making long-term commitments and hoping that the stock market would perform. So the real key for pension reform that legislatures are grappling with are two things. One is, how do we pay for this? And two, how do we make sure this doesn't happen again? Because that is a real challenge to government. In Utah, that 1 year will cost us 8,000 school teachers in our classrooms for 25 years. And in our state, where we have the highest class sizes in the country, that's a disaster. So what we did in Utah was try to contain the problem, make sure that we're paying off this liability over time, but also making sure that we don't put another legislature 30 years from now in a similar bind. And that's the essence of what we're trying to do and the result of this 2008 crash. Utah, we were the first state to really take a look at this and aggressively act in 2010. But the way we calculate these losses, they take some time to show up on our books because of what's called a smoothing period. We don't open our eyes up to these losses all at one time in state government. We open them about 20% at a time, over 5 years. Well, now we're 3 years post crash, and it's really starting to become apparent across the country that states have to act. Just 2 weeks ago, Rhode Island made substantial changes to their program to put it on a sustainable path, but that urgency wasn't there 2 years ago. But as these losses are fully realized, legislatures are realizing they have to act.
How difficult is this to do?
It's difficult. One, it's hard to understand. It's hard to understand how these programs work, because they're based on formulas of how long people are going to live and how long they're going to work and what their wages are going to grow like over time. And then also, that's the benefit side of what we're committing to pay for. It's a little bit of a moving target because people are living longer, etc. But then also, we're putting away money now and counting on the stock market to do well enough to fund what we're committed. And so people are living longer and we have market collapses. That opens up big gaps. So it's very, very difficult to understand to begin with. But then at the same time, you have public employees. They did not cause this problem. And yet, the tools we have to deal with them are very limited. We've got to go back and fund these programs, which means there's less money for wages and for health care and other things that affect public employees, and there's fewer teachers and classes. It's very, very difficult. We'll get through it. These are challenges. It's a challenging time for everybody in state government, certainly for state employees, certainly for lawmakers. But as long as we make these issues about the reality of the situation we're in, and less about partisan politics, the better off we're going to be. Because ultimately, these are reality issues, and reality is not negotiable. But if we can address it on those terms, we can come up with a system that's fair, that meets our needs to recruit and retain good employees, but also provide retirement security for our public employees when they need it.